Hi guys, my name is Maddie and welcome to the floor of my bedroom. Today we're doing a little bit of an interesting video. Definitely not like any of the ones I do on my channel regularly. I know I talk a lot about movies and stuff, and believe it or not, I actually don't watch that many movies in my life. I also don't really read, but something I do is listen to music. I love music a lot. I spend too much money on it regularly, but that's why I'm making this video today. We are going to be doing a collection of all of my CDs and also my records that are over there. I don't have as many records as I do CDs because I don't really like records. I actually kind of hate having them, but I don't know how to get rid of them because I feel bad getting rid of them. I'm one of those people that attaches sentimental value to anything I own, which is why my room is such a mess. But CDs I listen to on the regular. I actually have two players. My record player does also play CDs, and then I have a CD player over there that also plays cassettes. I own one cassette, and that's because I thought it was really pretty. My sister owns a lot of cassettes. That's her thing. She makes them. She's got her own thing. She does have some CDs that I don't have, but I won't be including them because they're not mine. We'll start off with my CDs first because there's a million of them. Here's all of them in their glory. I didn't have a particular way I wanted to do this, so I guess we'll just go down by rows. I do have them organized in order of artist. Starting off, we have Miss Taylor Swift debut. This is actually the version that has the homophobic Picture to Burn, so that's pretty neat. It does not have a back cover. Who's to say what happened to it? I don't know. This CD is so interesting to me. I'm unsure why she decided that putting her toes on the CD was a great idea, but that's not my business. Next up, we have Fearless, the OG. I really want the Platinum Edition, but it is on vinyl, and I notoriously really don't like vinyl, but it is something I really want. Next, I have Fearless Taylor's version. I actually have two of these, and here's the second one. The reason I have two is because I cut up the poster in the first one, and then it didn't have a cover anymore, and I said, well, I need one that looks normal and complete. And that's why this one's naked, but you know, fun fact, Fearless is my favorite album, and I think that might be known just based on the fact that I cut up the poster and I have not cut up anything for any of the other ones, but I usually don't put this one in here just because I don't want it taking up room. I usually just throw it right there. Next we have Speak Now. Next up we have Speak Now, Taylor's version. I really love the Taylor's version, not the songs. They sound pretty much the same to me. Minus a few, like ours. She butchered ours, Taylor's version. I'm not sure what happened, but that's my favorite song ever, all time. So I was really offended by that. But the photo shoot for this is so Gorgina. Like, it's so gorge. Next is Red. I was obsessed with this album as a kid, and I'm honestly kind of not sure why I didn't have the CD originally, but now I do, and that's all that matters. This one's a little bit broken. I also have Red, Taylor's version. This album sent me into a psychosis. I'm not even joking. When it came out, I think I listened to it like twice a day, every day for at least 2 months. I'm not sure what was happening. I'm okay now. I'm not really sure like what was going on, but this album is great. And if you have 2 hours to spend, you should spend it listening to this. Something that's really interesting is that like there's no like photo shoot for this one other than I guess like the cover. All the promotional stuff is like her from that era. And how was she able to do that? I thought she lost the rights to those pictures. She has them now. Go Queen. We love you. We have 1989 OG. I really wanted the deluxe, but that was just not in the cards for me, I guess. It doesn't matter. This is still a gorge album. And Ending at Clean is very tea. That is a great song. Probably the best from 1989. In my humble opinion, that's just my favorite song. Next we have 1989, Taylor's version. I am like everybody else, and I actually do notoriously really not like this one. I do like the cover though. The cover is so gorge and diva that like it makes me want to like the album a little bit more. I used to have the vinyl that had the bonus track on it, but I did sell that because I said that's not my business. I don't need to keep that. This is like, and it's such a gorgeous cover too. Like, it's so gorge. I don't know what happened with the production. Things were going wrong. That's for sure. I wouldn't die if I had to hear a Taylor's version 1989. I just would rather listen to the original, and now I can. So I'm gonna be doing that. I also have the pink version of this, and that is because my room is very pink, and I thought that this might match. A little bit more than the blue one, but I do really like the blue cover. I like it more than this one, actually. I just like the fact that this CD is pink. And I don't give this one a home in here. I also throw this up here. Next we have Reputation. Gorgeous Diva. I got this at a Rite Aid before all the Rite Aids closed in the world, so shout out Rite Aid, for real. I was kind of gagged that they had it. This was like a while after this came out too, and I was like, oh. It also did come with a poster, but I don't know where it is. I also kept the box that it came in, because I was afraid to throw it away. Like, what if I might eat this one day? This is the luckiest day of my life. I opened a drawer and I found it. Here's the first side, and here's the second side. Next I have Lover, but it lives in the Lover booklet because that's the only version of Lover I have. There it is. Eva. I don't feel like getting it out. Next up I have Folklore. This was my favorite album for like the longest time, but then I said, no, I need to go back to my roots of Fearless, and it was my favorite album as a kid. It's my favorite album now. So next up we have Evermore. This was also my favorite album for a while, but I don't think that I was saying that truthfully. I think I was saying that to seem cooler than other people. But if Evermore is your favorite album, you are objectively cooler than everybody else. Next up we have Midnights. This is the first variant, I guess. I didn't buy any of the other ones. I just liked this one because it was purple and pretty. If she had released a pink one, you best believe I would have bought that. I guess I haven't looked at this long enough, but the back, I guess you could also make a clock with. That's intriguing for sure. I'm not sure how that would work. This is actually my sister's favorite album, and that's probably why I only have one copy of it, and she has like 40. But next up we have The Torture Poets Department. I guess I didn't realize this one came with a poster as well. I don't remember buying this, actually. Like, I remember owning it, but I don't remember buying this. Here's the poster, and there's like lyrics on the back. Fun fact, I was dating a man when this album came out, if you can believe it. And I think from this album I realized that like things were not gonna go the way I anticipated them going. So thanks, Taylor. Next up we have The Anthology. I was there on Black Friday when this shit was released. I was one of the first ones there. There was plenty of them there. I did not have to do all that, but I did. I hope you're not anticipating any like music critiques on this. I don't know anything about that. I just listen to music and I like what sounds good. I'm no Anthony Fantano. I don't know anything. Next up we have Life of a Showgirl. I bought this because I think the cover is like absolutely diva. My favorite one is actually not this one, but I didn't feel like buying that one because this is the one she chose. So this is the one I'm gonna buy. I don't believe in variant culture unless the variant is something that I'm like, oh, that's actually really pretty and I'd rather have that. But most of the time, I will just go for the cover that the artist chooses because that's the cover they chose to represent the album, if you know what I mean. I am not a huge fan of this album. I do like a lot of songs. I also hate a lot of songs. Ruin the Friendship is my favorite. It's so OG Taylor. A polarizing album, for sure. I think the discourse on it, absolutely insane. You guys are crazy. It's not that bad. There's just a few bad songs, but it's not the worst album in the entire world. Okay, guys, we finally moved out of Taylor Swift. I know that's a lot, but at the same time, I'm a collector. I have to have them all. What I really want is the Beautiful Eyes EP, and if someone has it and is willing to sell it to me, please let me know. I want it so bad. Now we're moving on to a different section. As I mentioned, everything is like coded by artists, so it's just gonna be a run of a bunch of people. Up next, we have Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter. I really wanted the deluxe, but this is the cards I was dealt. I believe this was on sale on her website for like $3, and I said, okay, well, I can't not buy that. Also, that CD is so like Pinterest worthy. I love it. Next up, we have Fruitcake, her holiday EP. This is all I listen to the minute Thanksgiving is over. These are not just Christmas songs to me. Santa Doesn't Know You Like I Do is maybe one of the best songs ever written to this date, and I refuse to believe that this is a only Christmas time song to listen to. I think Cindy Lou Who actually did make it onto my Spotify Wrapped this year. Also, this cover, so cute. Love it. Next up, we have Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. This album, so gorgeous. I love this cover too. It's actually very cute. I think I like also entered a state of psychosis when this album came out. I think I listened to it at least 40 times within the span of a week. I also really want the deluxe for this one. The deluxe tracks are really good, but I felt bad buying a deluxe CD when I already had this one. Next we have The Secret of Us, Gracie Abrams. So this is the deluxe. I did originally have the OG album, and then I bought the deluxe, and then I sold the other one because I felt bad having two. I just like don't think that's okay. I can only have one. Subtle plug, me and my sister did recently release a podcast episode where we talked about who's on our naughty and nice list of this year, and I put Gracie Abrams on my naughty list, and that was because she made it into my Spotify Wrapped, and like realistically she shouldn't have. I think she was taking a spot away from someone else, and that's why I put her on the naughty list. But I don't have beef with Gracie Abrams, just for context. But I did listen to this album quite a lot, and I think I'm forgetting that. I think I did forget that I did listen to this album a lot, and maybe that's why she was on there. So that's kind of a gag, and I actually probably should revoke that statement. So Gracie Abrams, no longer on my naughty list. Her father, always on my naughty list. Don't touch Star Wars ever again. Next we have Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. This is the alternate cover, I believe, from Target. I don't know. I assume that's where it was from. Every time an album comes out and I like it enough, I will listen to it over and over and over again. And that is where my psychosis hits in. And I don't mean psychosis like in a bad way. It sounds mean, but like I truly mean like I just like sit there and I listen to the album and I don't think about anything else. I do kind of wish I did have the normal cover as well, but that's okay. This is the one we have, and I'm not willing to buy another one. I also do have the Sour Journal, which did in fact come with the CD. In my defense, when I bought this journal, I didn't know it was coming with a CD. I just kind of wanted the journal. Next up, we have Guts. I think I keep buying these at Target. I don't remember. But this is an alternate cover. I actually think I like the original cover a little bit more, but that's okay. There she is. There's the original cover. I guess I could just flip it if I really wanted to. Moving along with the pop girls, we have Britney Spears, Baby One More Time. This is such a diva album, and I actually did buy this CD after I bought the vinyl, but I really liked it. She's so cute. Like, what can I say? And also, like, she's pink. She matches my room. All the things are aligning, therefore I had to have it. Next up, we have Britney. This is probably one of my favorite albums. Probably second favorite if I had to pick a favorite. I know what my favorite is, and we'll get to her. You can clearly tell where Addison Rae was getting her inspo from, and we love to see it. Next up, we have Britney Spears, In the Zone. This is the best album ever created. I'm not even joking. This is the best album to ever grace the earth. Next up, we have Britney Spears, Greatest Hits. I don't remember where I got this, but I do know that the cover is broken. It just comes right apart if you open it up. I try not to touch her just because I don't want this to break even more than it already is, but I do enjoy listening to the songs, so it's quite the struggle that I have to deal with. We also have the Spice Girls Greatest Hits. I also have another CD of the Spice Girls, but it's not in a CD case, and I will explain why later. We've made it through most of this row. I feel really good about that. I have a lot of random ones over here. I guess we'll just go through those first. So first we have Carrie Underwood, Some Hearts. It is missing the front cover. It does have the back one, though. I don't really support Carrie Underwood and her endeavors these days. Last time I saw her at the White House, I said, yeah, that's not a great look. Carrie, I don't need to know about that. And for that reason, I'm clocking out of her business. But I did really like her as a kid. I actually wanted to become a country music star because of her, which gag, I guess. I don't know. I do have most of her albums. I don't have her most recent one because it wasn't very good, but I do have all her old ones. And some of them are very 2000s realness, so we have to admire that from afar. I'm kind of shocked that this one is still with us today. This was the very first one I got, and I did get it when it came out. The fact that it survived this long, and I've been able to keep it in playing condition. Next we have Carrie Underwood, Carnival Ride. I do love this photo shoot. It's actually really gaggy. She is wearing the craziest jeans with that fuck-ass top. Also, if you look super close, there is glitter on her eyes because I put glitter nail polish there. There's not much I can say about that. That is just something I decided to do. Next we have Carrie Underwood, Blown Away. If you can't tell, this thing is like nearly falling apart. Believe it or not, if you open the cover, it does not fall apart, so that's really interesting. This is a little bit torn right here. I don't know from what. It could have been anything. I did move houses many a times as a kid, so it could have been on my wall. There could have been tape. Could have just been torn down. Who's to say? There is also glitter on her eyes. Maddie strikes again. Jesus Christ. I will admit she is serving in this. She's kind of giving baddie. Hi, it's a different time of the day with a different mic and a different outfit, and I did wash my hair, so a lot of different things going on. We have Carrie Underwood, Play On. This one is also cracked. It is also broken. This one's really interesting. It's like very low-key. Also, this looks like a CeraVe commercial. Not sure if that was intentional. I believe this one might have been my favorite for a while, hence why it's all beat up. And if you look close enough on her eyes, I think I stopped doing that after a while. I don't think that there's any more. And then last of Carrie Underwood, we have the Greatest Hits album. This was a gift. I did get gifted this one. This is so interesting that she did a Greatest Hits after like her first like 3 or 4 albums. There's also a rip at the top. I'm assuming it must have been on a roll. Okay, now we're gonna move on to this section of it all. Some of them are not in order, so I apologize for that. The first thing on the top is Side Quest by Michael Clifford of 5 Seconds of Summer. I believe this is the Barnes & Noble edition. I think it came with stickers. I also have another version of this, but I'm gonna insert that portion of the video a little bit later. Similarly, this is 5 Sauce 5, the Michael edition. I don't really have a favorite of that band. I like them all pretty equally. I'm not sure why I got the Michael one and nobody else. I make decisions sometimes and I don't know. Next we have Fine Line by Harry Styles. I used to have the vinyl of this and then I sold it because I didn't think that it was fair for me to have two. Next we have Harry Styles, Harry's House. This album, when it came out, sent me into a different state of being. I don't remember who I was before this, but I know who I am after it. He said, there you go, and then he hasn't been anywhere since. Except running marathons, which, shout out King, good for you. Next we have Miss Addison Rae. What a Gorgina cover. This album, it was my entire Spotify rap. All my 5 songs were from Addison. I think I listened to this album like every single day during the summer, every single day. Next we have Kesha, Animal, and Cannibal. This CD is really dirty for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's not my business. The first CD is Animal, and the second Cannibal. Also, it is broken, like down here. can come apart a little bit. Next thing I have is Plastic Heart. This is probably my favorite Miley Cyrus record. It depends. It changes on the daily. When this album came out, I also had the same experience that I do with many other albums, and I listen to it every single day. Usually when that happens, I do get sick of it and I can't listen to it for a while, and then I'll re-find it again, and then the cycle repeats. I'll just listen to it over and over and over again. So next we have a little collection. So the first thing we have is Lana Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell. An amazing album. One of the best. Listening to this album makes me want to go on a boat. I need to be on a boat like right now. This is my summer album on repeat all summer. Next thing I have is Blue Banisters. Here she is, the diva herself. I think the booklet that came with mine is not correct. Something about it just seems a little off, but I don't really have anything to base that off of, so maybe I'm going crazy, who knows. Once again, if an artist has like a really big catalog, my favorite album changes on the daily. Then I also have Ocean Boulevard, as I like to call it because the title is too long for me to say. This is one of the variant covers. I wish I had the normal one. This next one I have is a little bit of an oddball. This is Elvis, An Afternoon in the Garden. I don't really have a good explanation for this one. I do like Elvis's music a lot. I think I just picked this up at a record store one time, an assortment of songs. See, it was on sale for $5.99, but there you go. It was between this one or a different collection of songs, and I said I think I like these ones better. So next thing I have is Deftones Around the Fur. I'm not sure how I acquired this one. I don't remember. I don't really listen to this genre of music very often, but I do like this album. I think it's good. I can't remember if I bought it, if I was gifted it. Next, we have quite the collection of things. Okay, first we have 5 Seconds of Summer, self-titled. This is the standard version. Here it is in all its glory in the CD that looks like Wii Sports. Not sure if that was intentional on their part. Me and my sister love this album cover. We make fun of it all the time. It's just so silly. There's something special about it, and I'm not sure what. Next is also 5 Sauce self-titled, but this is the deluxe version, and it is the red variant. I got this on Depop. Someone was selling it for a decent price, so I think that they were also selling a blue one, and I also really wanted that one, but I said I can't get both. Next we have Sounds Good Feels Good. This is, I believe, the deluxe. There's a lot of colors going on in this one. Kind of drives me nuts looking at it, but that's okay. This is probably my favorite 5 Sauce album, minus 5 Sauce 5. Next we have Youngblood, 5 Seconds of Summer. This album, we fight on the daily. We never usually get along. Listening to the first half of this album is like heaven on earth. It is amazing. Something happens near that back half. I don't know what it is. If Walls Could Talk, we have beef. I'll never forget, they played If Walls Could Talk on the set list for the 5 Sauce show. So rude. I guess it was on me. I didn't check the set list before going. You know, I was just so gagged in the moment that I couldn't think about anything else. I was like, oh. I will admit I do like this cover a lot though. And this is the deluxe version. I'm not sure why I needed the deluxe version. I don't like the deluxe songs. Next we have 5 Sauce 5. This came in a booklet, so that's why it's in here. I believe this is the deluxe. Yeah. The Michael version is not the deluxe, so that's really interesting because they released it on streaming as the deluxe. I am not in charge there. I don't know what's going on there, so I just kind of buy music and, move on with my day. Next we have Everyone's a Star. This is the standard version. I only purchased this before realizing that they were gonna do a bunch of variants. So this is what I got. I do like the CD though. It is very cute. I love the little stars. Also, this album cover kind of gives me nightmares. I don't love it. I like the deluxe version a lot more. I also have the Ashton cover of Everyone's a Star because he looks so diva in this. Are we talking hello? If you know, I did put him on my naughty list this year for various reasons. If you want to know, go check out my podcast. For this cover alone, I feel like he should be on the nice list. He just looks so good. What can I say? This is the only variant that I got because I couldn't justify buying all 4. Next we have When Facing the Things We Turn Away From, Luke Hemmings. I also listened to this album extensively when visiting the coast once, and now every time I go back, I'm just transported back to a time. And Luke Hemmings is there. He actually I hallucinate him there. It's so crazy. That was a really horrible joke. I don't know why I said that. Next up, we have Boy, Luke Hemmings. This actually did come cracked, and I said that's not my business. I don't really care if things are cracked. I know some people care, and I mean, good for you. I just couldn't care less. I just need the damn CD. If the CD has a problem, then I'll notify someone, but I don't really care about the things being cracked. But this one is super special because it is signed. Look at that. This was my first sign of anything. Also, one of the reasons I was not willing to notify anyone that it was cracked, it's signed. I'm not losing this thing. Next up, we have Up All Night, One Direction. This is the standard version. I do not have a single One Direction album that is the deluxe version. If you watch my One Direction video, then that CD is something I did print out and had on my wall. Next we have Take Me Home. This is my favorite One Direction album. It is amazing. It is the best one. Next, Midnight Memories. I don't have much to say about this album. We have kind of a love-hate relationship. Next, 4. This is my sister's favorite album. It is objectively probably the best. If we're going songwriting, production-wise, I would say it's probably the best. My sister also has the vinyl for this, but that's in her room, and that's not my business. We also have Made in the AM, an interesting album for sure. I really wish I had the deluxe for all of these. Next one I have is Zayn, Mind of Mine. This I also got at Rite Aid. I think it was the same trip I got Taylor Swift Reputation. So shout out Rite Aid for real. You were a real one. It is a little broken. This part that holds the CD, it doesn't work. So it like pops out all the time. Next we have a weird assortment of things. This is the Jonas Brothers Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. What a fucking album name. And it also comes with this insert for the Jonas TV show. Like they're trying to test me. I believe I got this before I made my video, so that's not really like their fault, but I will admit that this is promotion for the first season, which is probably my favorite if we had to choose between the two seasons. The second one drives me fucking nuts. So next we have In Sync. This is something I got at a thrift store, so that's why there's that little X there. This CD is so cool to me. It is like the craziest color scheme, but I love it. This was a random find that I found, and I said, well, why not? Next I have is NSYNC Greatest Hits. And then I also have Blink 182 Greatest Hits. I have a lot of Greatest Hits albums. They're really easy to find, so that's usually why I buy them. We're almost done with my CDs, but now we're just moving on to a random assortment of things that I have. These are just kind of miscellaneous. They don't really have a home. So this is Ali and AJ, A Touch of the Beat, Gets You Up on Your Feet, Gets You Out, and then Into the Sun. We need to stop with this long-ass album names. This is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. This is such a banger album, and I've been recently like going back and listening to their old music. Their first two albums, like 2000's Realness, number one, but like they're amazing. They're so good. So shout out Ali and AJ for real. But this is probably the best thing that they've ever created. Next we have the Wicked soundtrack for Wicked Part 1. I don't remember why I acquired this or how I did, but it's with me now. It's in my room. Next is Pretty Poison by Nessa Barrett. I recently got this. Shout out to the person on Depop who was selling this. This is just the start of my collection. I'm really hoping to get Aftercare for Christmas, but we'll see. But soon she'll have her own little home. And then this is the most miscellaneous thing I ever have. It is the Pitch Perfect soundtrack. Pitch Perfect is one of the best movies ever created. It is my family's favorite movie to watch. I don't remember how I acquired this. So this next section of CDs are really interesting because they are something that I made myself. I burned these myself. And if you're wondering, of course, I did purchase the albums on iTunes before and then burnt them because it would be illegal if I didn't do that. So I definitely did that. You don't have to go check anything on like my search history and like my YouTube history on like all the files and everything. That didn't happen. I actually purchased these for sure. The first one we have is Ultraviolets, Lana Del Rey. So these ones are in weird cases that I got on Amazon. I don't know, so there's no real fun stuff to it. But I did write the track list down for some of them. And sometimes when I would make these, there's songs I don't like on albums, and I would exclude them because they're my CD. I can do what I want, and I think that that's allowed. But I also just got these random CDs on Amazon. It came in like a pack of 50, and they look like records. I chose the colors based off of the vibe of the album. I'm not sure why this one's pink, to be completely honest with you. The next one we have is Big Time Rush, BTR specifically. This is their first album. If you can kind of tell, I made this cover myself. I'm not sure what took over me, decided to make it like this and not just the standard white cover. This is probably my favorite album by them. Their very first one. They kind of nailed it the first time around. What's the point of the other ones? I don't know. This next one is very interesting. This is Big Time Rush. This is the track list. This is actually their canonical first album in the show. This is something I recreated on my own because I already had the songs, and I said, you know what, that would be so funny if I just had a replica of one from the show. And so this CD case used to belong to my other Spice Girls one. Sorry, divas, but this is the funniest thing that I probably own ever because they'll be like, what is that cover? Also, I had to like spend years trying to find this cover. Someone on Facebook posted it, so thank you to that person on Facebook. Next one I have is My Everything by Ariana Grande. I just recorded this last night. This is probably my favorite Ariana Grande album minus Eternal Sunshine. I don't know. It changes on the daily once again. So these next few are collection. First we have Pageant Material by Casey Musgraves. So this is an alternate cover. This is not the cover. I just felt like doing this one. I don't know. I liked this picture a lot. So next one I have is Golden Hour, Casey Musgraves. And then last but not least, we have Deeper Well. This is I think someone made this on Pinterest. So shout out to that person on Pinterest who did this. This was one of the promotional photos, but it also has the title of it for the deluxe tracks. This is the deluxe version. When I can create my own CDs, I can always put in the deluxe tracks. So, because I obviously bought those. Yes, correct. Next one I have is Patterns by Kelsey Ballerini. This is actually the deluxe. I just like this cover more than the deluxe cover. I actually did see her in concert for the Patterns tour, and it was one of the best experiences of my entire life. Next one I have is Metamorphosis by Hilary Duff. This is probably one of the best albums ever created in the 2000s alone. She was on my nice list this year. Next one I have is Brat by Charli XCX. This is the deluxe and the remixes, but there's not all of the remixes. was only the remixes that I liked a lot. These are the last of my CDs. These are CDs that don't have homes, and so they live in this thing. First one we have is the Spice Girls. They had to be rehomed, and I feel sorry because that was their original home, and I really do apologize. This next one I have is Eternal Sunshine Deluxe. As you can tell, I just had to write it on there because it no longer has a home. I did have one at one point. Next one I have is Hannah Montana. This is a collection of all of her albums. These things can record up to 80 minutes, so I just kind of picked and choose what songs I wanted on there for 80 minutes. So I believe it includes the entire movie soundtrack because that movie is the best movie to ever grace the earth. The next one I have is Big Time Rush Elevate / 24/7. It is both. They are both on there, and that is possible because I took out a few songs from each. Elevate is probably my least favorite because it has some of the worst songs ever. I hate CoverGirl with a passion, and no one can convince me otherwise. It's just the craziest song on the planet. And luckily, that's all I got in here. I don't know how many that is. I can do a count afterward. Too many. I have too many for sure. Moving on to my vinyl collection. I don't have that many, but now that I'm looking at it, I feel like I have a lot. So the first one I have is Britney Spears' Baby One More Time. The vinyl is not in here. I actually do not know where it is. It is somewhere in my room, but I need to clean, so I'm sure it's here somewhere. I hope it's in a sleeve, but I do have the CD in case anything happens to it. It is the picture vinyl. I'm sure I can find a picture and put it up there. So that's my first one, and I don't even have it with me. Next we have the Priscilla soundtrack. Priscilla is my favorite movie, in case you didn't know. Next, I have Lover. These next few are going to be Taylor Swift, just by the way. So I only have one of them in here. The blue one, it's actually a little bit see-through, which is cool. My other one is right there. That is the pink vinyl. It's just on my wall because it is actually broken. I think it might have been scratched somewhere because during I Think He Knows, it literally skips through, skipping down 16th Avenue. Because it's broken, I just decided to hang it up on the wall. Also, it matches my room. Next, we have a version of Midnight's. I don't know which one this is. It's this one. Whatever that means, I don't know. We used to have it set up in the clock format. I don't know where it went after that. We decided to take out the records out of all of them just so like if we wanted to play them, and that makes sense to me, but I'm not sure where its home is. Next one I have is Evermore. This is the green vinyl, I believe. I did purchase this after I got my CD, but that was because the CD used to skip. And so I said, oh, well, I have to get a new version of it, which is definitely a thought process for sure. But then my CD started working again. So now I have two. Next one I have Folklore. This is the Target version, so it's red and really ugly, and I really don't like it, but I think it might skip. So I might just hold on to it so that nobody has to suffer having a skipping one. Next one I have is Taylor Swift Debut. The only reason I have this is because this is the deluxe and my CD isn't. Moving on, we have Super Bloom by Ashton Irwin. This is something that I wish was on CD, but I actually don't even think it was released on CD, so I got the vinyl for it. This is the color. It's actually very cool. I really do like it. I do like this cover a lot, actually. This was like my album of the year. When it came out. So shout out Ashton Irwin, I guess. The next one I have is Blood on the Drums, Ashton Irwin. I wish that I got the CD for this, but the reason I didn't was because this came with a signed insert. So I said that I needed that instead. Here she is in all her glory. Next thing I have is Youngblood by Five Sauce. The vinyl is not in here. It is on my sister's wall at the moment. Why I have two versions of this album that I don't like very much, don't ask me. I have no clue. We also have Calm on vinyl. It's also in my sister's room, and that is my least favorite album I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Why I have that album, I don't know. Can you guys tell that I like Five Sauce? Next week I have is Starcrossed by Casey Musgraves. This one's really cool. It opens up like that. Next thing I have is Charlie Brown Christmas. I do not remember where I acquired this, how I got it, why I still have it. Next one I have is Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again. The only reason I do not have this on CD is because I have this. This is a picture vinyl, as you can tell. The back is just like this background. So, and then I also have Five Sauce 5 on vinyl. This is the white version. There it is. I really wanted to hang this one up just because I already have the CD, but then I realized that my walls are white and you wouldn't be able to see it. Can you tell that this is my favorite album? And then last but very not least, HS1, Harry Styles. I love this album. The insert that, like the little booklet this came in, is actually on my wall. I really like this album, number one, because it's a good album, but also the aesthetic pretty much matches me. This is just a black vinyl, nothing too special, but I do love this cover a lot. And then last but very not least, this is the one cassette that I own. It is Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. The reason I bought it was because it's pink and it matches my room. She's a gorgeous girl, what can I say? The cassette itself is white. I also have a few, which I'll insert a clip of me right now showing you all those. Hi, I'm Maddie from the distant past. I just finished a marketing presentation and it went really well. I forgot that I'm so good at public speaking. Maybe it's because I make YouTube videos. Let's crack up in that case. Anyway, today I am doing my CD collection I have here. Starting off with a bang, we have Side Quest, Michael Clifford, signed from Barnes & Noble. Did I get this at the actual signing he did at the Grove? Well, can you claim I wasn't there? No. No, you can't actually. Unless you were there and you didn't see me there. As far as the people in my life know. I was there. I have a signed one. Unfortunately, I was not able to go because I just wasn't here when he was here, and it was actually really annoying. It was actually really rude. And this is my public announcement to my Clifford. That was really rude of you, and I think I actually deserve an apology. Why did you decide to do your signing the one day I wasn't in LA? I have yet to take it out of the packaging. I'm kind of afraid to. It's signed on the inside, so I don't intend on opening this one, but now I can add it to my collection of signed ones. Next one I have here is Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter. I didn't originally pre-order this one, which I normally do with artists that I like for sure know that I'm gonna love. Didn't do that with Life of Showgirl. Who said that? Who said that? That was not me, guys. I needed like 2 weeks for this album to grow on me, and I said, I actually do need that really, really badly. So I went and bought it. It came with a little poster, and it's up on my door right now. If you watch my videos, you would see it in there. The glare might be kind of bad, but you should be able to figure it out. Here's the diva herself. We love. Also, that dog is so cute. And I've been really wanting a dog recently. I could not take care of a dog right now if I really wanted to, but maybe one day. So this is my first copy of Beautiful Chaos by Cat's Eye. We'll get into the others. I have one, and here's number 2. Long story, I tried to return one of them because Target sucks. But regardless, I got 2 for the price of 1. And last but not least, we have the beautiful diva herself. If you saw my video about me opening this, the CD is somewhere in here. I don't intend on opening it. If you watch my video, you can go see what it looks like. That's all I have here. Back to you. Thank you, Past Maddie, for saying all that. We appreciate it. And that is my entire music collection. It's probably far too much for one person alone, but I'm getting better about spending a lot of money, judging that I can make them myself, but obviously I do that through ethical means of buying it first, of course. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this enjoyable, I don't have anything else like this on my channel, so I apologize in advance. And I don't really have collections as big as this and anything else, so I probably will never do this again. Once again, I don't read, so I don't even have book collections, but my sister does read, and she talks about books sometimes, so you should go subscribe to her channel. She's awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.